Everybody, I totally forgot to do the HSA thing for you guys. So with the medical insurance, you set up an HSA account with your bank, okay? Now the HSA, since you'll have an HSA insurance, they're gonna want proof of the insurance, just like an insurance card or whatever, and then they will go ahead and let you set up an HSA account. Well, what happens is you will be able to put a certain amount of money into that HSA account. So like for an individual, you could put like up to $2,800, or for a family, you could put in like up to $6,000 or something like that. Okay. So what happens then at the end of the year, you get a form from your bank that says, hey, you put this much money in an HSA. You take that that form, and that number deducts from your gross pay on your 1040. Any accountant or anybody else knows exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. So let's say gross wise, you made 50 grand and you ended up putting 5 grand into your HSA. Then that 5 grand would come off that 50 grand whenever you do your taxes. So then what happens is you can reimburse yourself from that account, either via check, or a lot of times, like our bank gives you a debit card, so you can use that debit card at the doctor's office, or you can do what I do, which I just pay everything off of a regular credit card, and then at the end of the year, I add it all up and I pay myself a check for however much expenses we had. Now, I don't even have to do that at the end of the year because the money stays in that account. As long as I have an HSA, and I have an HSA insurance, I can put money into that account and I can pull that money out for qualified medical expenses, okay? So let's give you an example. Let me take 2 years here, okay? You like my dog? And you're Punky. Say hi. Hi, guys. So let's say I put in 5 grand this year, don't take anything out, put 5 grand in next year, and at the end of the year, I realized, okay, I got 10 grand in my HSA account, and I got 3 grand of medical expenses from this year, and then 3 grand from the year before. You can take that whole 6,000 out of that 10,000. Okay? That's how an HSA account works. It's completely separate from the insurance. The insurance just enables you to be able to have that HSA account. Now, if all of a sudden, let's say we decide to go to a PPO next year or something like that, then what happens is you still have that account. The only issue the only change will be is you can't put money into that account. You can still take the money that you have in it out. So if you put 5 grand in, you can still take that 5 grand out. Or you can leave it in there, take it out a couple years from then. It doesn't really matter. You just can't put any more in because you don't have an HSA plan. So everything you pay, so that goes back to the whole PPO thing. That's the other cruddy side, is everything you pay for out of a PPO plan is taxed money. You don't get to pre-tax it. So you still got to pay the feds their money and whatever. I hate taxes. So I hope that makes sense. That basically, if you enroll on the medical insurance, you set up the HSA plan. This HSA plan is just for the expenses you incur. Your premiums are automatically pre-tax taken out by the cafeteria plan, which you don't care about all that. Bottom line is they're already pre-taken out by me. Any expenses that you have, i.e. prescription meds, going to the doctor, going to the urgent care, going to anything like that, can be paid for out of your HSA account. Okay? You would set that up with your bank. There's a limit on how much you can put in, and it stays with you forever. So it's not like you lose it at the end of the year or anything like that. So hopefully that makes sense. It is 2 totally separate things, but it does go together because you have the HSA insurance. The cool thing is you can also use it for other stuff. Let's say you go and you have some dental procedures that need done, and you have our dental insurance and it doesn't cover it all because it's a root canal or something. You can use your HSA. You can put money into the HSA and take that money out to use it for whatever dental you had to have done that it wasn't covered. Or if you didn't have our insurance and went to the dentist and had to have some stuff done, you can still pull it out. You just had to have a cleaning. You can still go to your HSA and pull that out because it's medical. So it's like a separate entity, but it's just only enabled to deposit into if you have an HSA insurance account. Okay. So hope that makes sense. And if you got any questions, let me know. Thanks. Bye.